you got wiretap, and you got...
No, we don't have that. I know.
On Capitol Hill.
No, I get it, but you keep... I've said it from the day that I got here until whatever, that there is no connection. You've got Russia. If the president puts Russian salad dressing on his salad tonight, somehow that's a Russian connection. But every single person... No, that's... I appreciate your agenda here, but the reality is... Oh, no, hold on. No, at some point, report the facts. The facts are that every single person who has been briefed on this subject has come away with the same conclusion. Republican, Democrat, so I'm sorry that disgusts you. You're shaking your head. I appreciate it, but understand this, that at some point, the facts are what they are. It seems like you're hell-bent on trying to make sure that whatever image you want to tell about this White House stays, because at the end of the day, let me answer. Okay, but you know what? You're asking me a question, and I'm going to answer it, which is the president. I'm sorry. Please stop shaking your head again.
He was actually moving his head while he was telling her not to shake his head.
Yes, I noticed that.
For what it's worth, fair play.
Here now with us, White House correspondent for American Urban Radio Networks and author of the book At Mama's Knee, April Ryan. Good morning, April.
Good morning, Allison. How are you?
I'm doing well. What was going through that head of yours when Sean Spicer was wagging his finger and shaking his head?
Disbelief. I was just asking a question, trying to get an answer, and I found myself trying to defend myself. But, you know, I'm a reporter just trying to get answers. And it was a simple question. It was a legitimate question. And I just wanted an answer. And I dropped my head. I didn't shake my head at first. And I reviewed the tape. I did shake my head towards the end in disbelief. But, you know, at the end of the day, I'm a reporter. He's a press secretary. And we both have jobs to do. I'm going back today to do my job. And he's going to do his job. And I take it for what it is. And as an administration is calling us the enemy of the people, I guess we saw some of that thought process yesterday.
I do not think you needed to review the tape to see whether or not you were shaking your head. I think you're allowed to shake your head whenever you want, especially when Spicer is doing what he does most often right now, which was giving a bogus response to your question. You know, you said you got wiretapping, you got Russia, and he goes, no, you do. Look, we all know where the wiretapping thing came from. That was the premise for your question, and you asked it. He didn't like it, and that was the treatment that you got. Do you believe what he did to you, April, is different than what he does to other reporters?
Well, let me say this. There was a young lady from Politico over the weekend, a white woman, who was called an idiot by Sean. It made headlines. We are the press who's under attack. We are under attack by this administration. It's about discrediting credible media. And, you know, at this point, I happen to be a black woman, but I'm part of the press. So this is, I guess this is part of a series of 2 women this week who have been in the news over something with the press secretary.
And do you think he treats women differently in the press room?
You know, I just know how he deals with me. I'm not sure yet, because, I mean, when he first came out, I was one of the 5. I was, I think, the 5th person that he called on the first day of the press briefing. I'm going to watch more so closely now. I just know that there are attacks on the press, but I'm going to watch more so closely. And I mean, I just see from the weekend that reporter from Politico, who he called an idiot, and then this situation. It's showing a pattern, at least this week. But yeah, I mean, they have made attacks on the press. I'm saying overarching, the attacks on the press have happened. But now I'm looking more closely, thinking about what you're saying at the issue of women.
The bad fact for them, where you, April, are involved, is that the president asked you to set up a meeting with the Black Caucus, which I thought was one of the more awkward moments we've seen in there. You handled it very well. I don't know if you reached out to try to set up the meeting or not.
I did not. I did not. Not at all.
I didn't expect you to.
Scheduler, you know?
But I thought that
I'm a reporter.
I thought that was more of a, I wonder if this would have happened to somebody who looked like me instead of like April in that exchange. Did you see that one as different with the president?
Again, when he said that, and this is when I just nothing else registered after he said set up the meeting, because I looked at that as impropriety, and I'm like, I can't do that. I can't set up a president with government. Now, what I will tell you is I will set up a meeting with the president and reporters. We've had tongs like that. We all look for tongs, off-the-record meetings with presidents or newsmakers and reporters to find out what's going on. But I cannot, I will not set up a meeting for government officials and the White House. That is just not right at all for me.
April, quickly, do you feel as though there's more of a personal attack from Sean Spicer when he calls somebody an idiot, when he says to you, stop shaking your head? Is that, I mean, look, there's always been an adversarial relationship between the press secretary and the press, but is there something on a deeper, more personal level happening now?
It's a tough one, and I want to believe that Mike McCurry said, the former press secretary for Bill Clinton, he said there's a friendly adversarial relationship. I believe the friendly piece is gone now, as you said, Allison. It is getting personal, but it should never get personal in that room. It should be about the issues. I have no agenda, you know, calling people out of their name. I mean, if you get personal, it could go back and forth for days, and it's not about the issues, and it's about the issues. This is the White House. This is the home, the workspace of the President of the United States, the leader of the free world. People want to know what he's thinking, what he's doing. I cover all things presidential. It's not about me, but if it becomes about me, it's a sad day. Or any other reporter, it is about the issue for the American people. We cover the President of the United States for the American people. It's not about us, it's about you, the people. It's just, it's turning into a different day.
Well, you get a big amen about that from a lot of people, certainly your brothers and sisters in the media. But interesting, what's your take on this? The president tweeted, hey, you know, if only people could see in our great country how viciously and inaccurately my administration is covered by the media. Do you think that those adjectives are applying more to the White House press secretary these days than it is to the media in terms of accuracy, which Spicer has struggled with, and that's a generous assessment, and the kind of personal attacks that you, the Politico reporter, our Jim Acosta, you know, that we see on a regular basis that have a feel of viciousness to them?
Jim is a great reporter. I love Jim Acosta. First of all, there is a lot of credibility issues when it comes to this administration, but that's where the press comes in, and we have to cover the issues and get all sides of the story. It's not just two sides, all sides of the story, to find out what is and what is real versus fake. Now, when it comes to fake news, oh yeah, there are some fake news organizations out there reporting on them, also supporting some of the spin that's offered from this White House and maybe other White Houses. But I will tell you this too as well. You know, in that room that I've been sitting in for 20 years, and to see it recently, you just wonder about some of the people that are coming in the room now. Are they really journalists, or are they spectators posing as journalists? So there's a lot of stuff going on in that room right now, and in this mosh that we call reporting at the White House right now. The dynamic has changed, but there is fake news out there. But I'm going to say those who have covered the White House, who are covering credible, credentialed journalists who come there every day, are doing their jobs. And I'm telling you, it's a fight, and it should not be this way. But I'm telling you, I stand by the First Amendment and those journalists who are in there covering this president and other presidents.
April Ryan, keep up the good work. Thank you so much for
Allison.
being with us to talk about all of this morning.